Okay, so for dimensioning for our midterm plain Moroccan summer lounge, I'm going to show you today and how are we going to set our own dimension styles. Although we have one in AutoCAD, which is the default, but still, uh, there's actually a better way or a proper way of setting your own dimension style. Okay, but first, let us check our layer. Okay, so you have to set your own layer. Okay, so that's dimension. Now you're going to set a uniform color of 40. Again, we are uniform with the color which is 40. That line type will be continuous and line weight will just be a thin one, which is 0.09, because we don't want our dimension lines uh, dominating the entire drawing. Okay, that's why manipis lang siya dapat. Now, I will just be setting my current layer to 0 muna for the meantime because we will be setting a style. Parang yun sa text style, dapat naka-0 ka muna para hindi nakalock yung object doon sa color na yun. Okay, so we better set it to 0. Then later, when we're going to create the actual dimensions, we're going to shift to the proper layer. Okay, so again, that's layer 0. First, let me show you one common command for layering, the very useful DLI or linear. Linear is actually a command that creates dimension relevant to the X and Y measurement or axis, okay? So let's see, DLI, enter. Of course, you will be needing your OSNAP. So this is 1 and this is 2. Okay, so this is a dimension object, which is very convenient to do as compared to manual. Now, a dimension object in AutoCAD is very dynamic. When I select this one and move it here, so you can easily adjust things. Okay, unlike sa manual na buburahin mo pa siya at uulitin. Okay, and you can also put it here, and the measurement is dynamic also. So, it can actually change depende dun sa modification na gagawin ng user. Okay? Now, afterwards, a dimension object actually consists of dimension lines. So, this is a dimension line, this one, and this one. Okay? This is a dimension text. Okay? You can actually change the text style as depende dun sa sinet mong style dun sa style command. Okay? Now, meron din siyang arrow. Eto. Dimension yung arrow yung tawag sa kanya. Pwede din siyang palitan. Okay? Now, we also have the so-called extend beyond dimension lines. Okay? So, yung line na to, extension lang siya beyond this arrow. Okay? So, later, I will be asking you to set your dimension style to 0 for this extension line kasi nakaka-create lang siya ng mess. Okay? And then, arrows can be changeable. So, pwede silang palitan depende dun sa preference nyo. And the text height also. Let us check. I'm going to command for D, enter. This is the command to set. Okay? Anyway, I actually have this existing here kasi may pinaste ako before. But the existing one is standard. Okay? So, pag nag-open ka ng CAD file, automatic meron siya nakaset na dimension style or default, which is the standard. So, i-check natin siya dun sa modify. So, yung text height is 0.18, which is maliit. So, we're going to adjust that at 0.25. Okay? Although, nagva-vary yung text height depende dun sa skill ng drawing mo. Okay? So, if you are just using, siguro kung magda-dimension ka sa mga shop drawings, you can use a smaller text height. But if you're going to put dimensions, sabihin na natin you're trying to put dimension on a 2-hectare property, of course, you have to adjust the text height for them to be readable. Okay? So, I'll just close this one. And close ko lang to. And this one pala, this dimension command, you don't, once you have exploded it, kasi currently hindi siya exploded, isang object lang siya, so you can easily, or the object is dynamic because it's not yet exploded. But once you explode it by X command, X enter, select enter, so individual object na lang siya. Ito, ordinaryong line na lang siya. No adjustment na mangyayari kasi you have exploded the object, okay? Anyway, I'll be deleting this. And then this is quite a long process. So maybe you stick to it. Anyway, this is recorded naman. You can always go back. Now, to set our own dimension style. So that's the enter. Most probably sa inyo wala pa kayong ganito or wala talaga kayong ganito kasi these were the presets na nasa file ko. Okay? So, what you will see probably is standard and ISO. So, ang gawin natin, regardless if meron kayong ganyan or wala, you have to click new. Okay? So, this is the standard way of setting dimension style. You have to click new. Okay, dimension style. Okay, so let us type floor plan or R-key floor plan. R-key. No, I wonder baka hindi niya accept yung merong underscore. Yan. R-key floor plan. Start with standard. Although, yung iba kasi meron lumilitaw na default na ISO. Walang problema doon, but select standard na lang. So, after this step, you have to click continue. Okay. After continue, we're going to start with lines first. Okay. So, for the lines, under dimension line, you set everything to by layer. Kasi 'di ba, we have set a specific layer for this. Okay? So there you go. And then afterwards for the extension lines, so meron kayong makikita dito 0.18. Baka sabihin niyo bakit hindi natin i-by layer to? Kasi ganito 'yan. Yung extend beyond dimension lines ito, yung line na nandito, yung lumagpas, tatanggalin natin 'yon kaya i-zero na lang natin. Okay? Now, extend beyond dimension lines, nag-zero tayo. So, we're good. You don't have to modify any of this kasi tatanggalin din naman natin siya. Okay? Meron siya dito, offset from origin. Ito yon. Meron kang space dito. Ayan. You see the orange line and the dimension white line. If you can see, there's a space there. Okay? Ako, zero ko din yan. Kasi minsan or madalas, pag nagda-dimension ka, the end point of the dimension line, yun napipick mo. Okay? Nag-iiba yung lumalabas na measurement. So, para safe ka na lang, better yet, i-attach na lang natin yung dulo ng dimension line dun sa object mismo. So, therefore, we have to set the amount of 0. Okay? So, after that, we're good with this tab. Let's go with symbols and arrows. Okay? So, for the arrowhead, ayan, the default one. Sabi ko kanina, you can actually change it. So, let us look for architectural tick. Ayan. So, you have actually first and second. And kung ano yung sinet mo dun sa first, yun yung if-follow ng second. Okay? And then, arrow size, 0.18 is, or maybe 0.2 is okay. So, again, nagdidepende pa rin po ito sa extent ng project. Okay? And depende din siya, of course, you have to minimize the arrow size if you are detailing for two small parts or two small shop drawings. For example, nagdi-detail ka ng stair handle, yung section nun. Technically, you have to make adjustments on a lower amount kasi baka mas nakikita pa yung arrow size kesa dun sa mismong drawing mo. Okay, anyway, this can be modified naman. And you can actually make a copy of it for your shop drawings. Okay? Kasi iba po yung dimension ni shop drawings, iba yung dimension ni floor plan, iba yung dimension mo sa site development plan. So, again, depende po dun sa extent ng ginagawa natin. Okay? So, we're good with this tab. Yun lang naman papalitan, the style and the arrow size. Next will be the text. Okay? Currently, the text style is standard, but if you still remember, we have set text 1, text 2, and text 3. Okay? So, pili tayo. Okay. Text. Masyado makapal si text 3. So, ay text 1 na lang. Okay? Si Arial Narrow. Okay? Hindi rin kasi maganda na masyado malaki yung text mo sa dimension kasi yun nga, baka ma-dominate po niya yung ano natin, what do you call this, yung drawing natin. Text color, so you can either select, pwede tayong mag-by layer, kung ano po yung layer na susundin niya. Pwede rin naman this time na ibahin natin siya. So maybe we can select red for this one. Okay? Fill color, so I don't put fill color with my dimension styles kasi tingnan ninyo, they're actually a little messy. So, better yet, just leave it none. Okay? Text height, masyado maliit to. So, better have it at 0.25. Okay? Pag masyado naman, yung drawing masyado malaki, or again, depende sa style, or depende dun sa extent ng drawing, Of course, you have to check the PDF. Minsan kasi, di ba, check muna natin siya or pini-preview if the texts are readable. So, if it's not readable, you just have to make adjustments, okay? So, you just have to modify this lang naman. Text placement, so naka-centered tayo, okay? Or pwede rin siyang above. Or better yet, dito na lang natin lagay. Align with dimension line. Okay? Tapos, above natin to. Center. Okay, hayaan na natin yan. So, yun lang naman. Okay, under text placement, we will be using for the vertical above. Tapos, dito sa text alignment, align with dimension line. Ito, hayaan nyo na itong dalawa. Huwag nyo nang gagalawin. Offset from dimension line. As you can see, nakaangat po yung text from the dimension line. Ayan o. So, yun po yung offset or yung space ng dimension line to the text. Okay? So, regardless kung ano yung amount na nandito, but you also have to check. Ako minsan sinizero ako to or maybe at 0.05. Okay? If you are using meter for the drawing units. Okay? So, 0.05 is okay. Depende din pa nag-a-adjust din yan. Again, kung shop drawings yan, you have to use lower dimension line offset. Okay? Anyway, things can be modified and as you go along, maiintindihan nyo naman. Next, after that, doon na tayo sa fit. Always keep text between extension lines. Yun lang naman po yung imo-mark natin on this part. And then lastly, primary units. Okay, we will be using decimal but when you click this one, meron siyang iba. So, decimal. Precision, masyado na madami yung 5 zero. So, 3 zero na lang. Ito. Okay? So, again, decimal, 0.00. Decimal separator, meron siyang comma, meron siyang space. For some other discipline, meron mga ganun. Pero tayo, period lang. Okay, that's it. We're good. So, lines, symbols, text, fit, primary units. Once you're done following this step, you just have to click OK. And our key floor plan. So, select this one and don't forget to set it current. And then close. Okay? Now, meron tayong appropriate layer. Again, pag sinet mo si dimension style, dapat naka-layer 0 siya para hindi siya nakalock sa color ng layer na current na select. Okay? Aside dito. Pero kung naka-layer 0 yan, of course, it's changeable. Okay? Now, after mo ma-set yung dimension style, dun ka na lang mag-set ng dimension layer mo pag kinreate mo na siya. Okay? For this one, ito po yung ano natin. List of very helpful dimension commands. We have a lot of dimension commands but not everything should be memorized. Okay? So, tignan natin yung mas ginagamit lang. So, of course, yung kanina, to set a dimension style, that is D. The second thing is dimension linear or DLI, wherein it creates a linear dimension. When we say linear, we are talking about X and Y. Okay? So, that's DLI. Make sure your OSNAP is on. This is 1 and 2. And click pataas. Just in case you want to adjust it, madali lang naman po yan. Okay? So, ito po yung mga sinet natin kanina. Ito po yung arrowhead na pinili natin, yung architectural tick. This is the text that has a height of 0.25 and it has a text 01 text style which is Arial narrow. Color is red as the one we have selected earlier. Meron siyang space dito. This is the dimension line. This is the text. Meron siyang offset. So, that is equivalent to 0.05 drawing units na sinet natin. Okay, yung extension lines dito, tinanggal natin kaya nag-0 tayo. Under layer, yung line type niya is continuous. But if you change the line type, magre-reflect din po siya dito. Okay? So, let's check the other one, DLI. Dito naman tayo sa baba. So, this is 1 and 2. Okay? So, after DLI, we have another one, yung dimension angular. Okay? Gawa lang ako ng dalawang line. So, that is done. Enter. 1 and 2. And kukunin naman yan yung angle of two objects. Okay? So, kahit saan mo dali niya, 90 degrees yan. Okay? So, that's dimension angular. Nagagamit ko siya pero madalang lang. Let's rotate this one at negative 45 Sorry. O, sige, 45 na lang. So, done. Enter. 1 and 2. Okay? So, ang bilis mag-dimension sa CAD as compared to manual. We have dim arc or DAR. So, let's say, let's create an arc here. 1, 2, and 3. And that's the AR. Select this. So, ayan po yung length ng arc natin. But if you're going to move outwards, that is the length of the arc, which is the other part of the circle. Okay? But this one sa taas dito, ito yung actual length ng arc na ginawa lang natin. Okay? So that's DAR for arc. Next, another useful command is DCO or dimension continue. So how do we do that? So, kunwari, burahin ko to. Nag-DLI ako dyan. So, this is 1. Or dito na lang. DLI. And, pwede ka ulit mag-DLI. And, click DLI. There you go. Okay? But, let's see. Let's find a more convenient way doing that thing. So, DLI, click dito, and DCO to continue. And then, ang gagawin niya, mag-a-attach siya dun sa last dimension na na-create, and therefore, you just have to pick your object snaps. And this is faster, okay? So, ulitin natin, DCO, enter. Automatic, didikit yan dun sa last created dimension, but you can press enter. For example, hindi naman to yung gusto mong i-continue. Ito yung gusto mong i-continue. Pwede yun. Okay, so click. 1, 2, and 3. Enter and enter. Okay? Next, we have diameter, radius, and QDIM. Okay? So, let's see. Let's create a circle. C, enter, pick 1 and 2. DDI. D stands for dimension. DI stands for the first 2 letters of the word diameter. Okay? So, DDI, enter. Select this. And there you go. So, you know it's a diameter because meron siyang diameter symbol. Okay? Pag DRA naman siya, enter. 1 and 2. Okay? So, meron naman siyang R. You can easily modify this. Okay? Sa mga shop drawings, nagagamit yung diameter tsaka radius. Or, say for example, meron part ng drawing mo na circular, you can always use that. Okay? QDIM. Okay din naman si QDIM. Sige, let's see. QDIM. Enter. So, I'll be selecting this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And enter. So, eto siya. Click. Okay, so from the word itself, quick dimension, kaya lang, we just have to move this pa, papunta dito, closer here. Okay? Let's try another, burahin ko to. QDIM natin. Quick dimension actually yun, or QDIM. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, enter. Ayan, umaakit nga lang siya doon. That's the problem. We'll have to move it pa. Okay? So, depende. Nasa user reference. But if you're going to ask me, 95% DLI po yung ginamit ko of all the dimension commands. Okay? So, DLI po siya lagi. And last one, before I leave everything, let's see. Going to create a line. I need a, yan, there you go. I'm going to command for DLI, 1 and 2. So, nagbigay siya, linear. Okay, linear dimension which is X or Y lang, or vertical. So, try din natin. DLI, 1 and 2. There you go. Okay? But what about done? Or sorry, what about align? Kasi meron siyang isa pang dimension, which is dimension align. Okay? Going to have another line here. So magdi-DLI ulit ako. 1 and 2. Enter. And this time, I'll be doing DAL. 1 and 2. Walang problema. They look the same. This one again. DLI. DAL. Okay. Eto. DLI. 1 and 2. And DAL. 1 and 2. So that's the difference between the two. Okay, naka-align talaga siya pag dimension align. Again, DLI, linear lang. Pero si align, kung paano mo talaga pinik yung mga points mo, dun talaga siya pupunta. Okay? So, let's have another one. This is DLI. I'll get the X linear. And this one, I get the dimension align 1 and 2. There you go. Okay? So, those were the very useful commands in AutoCAD regarding dimensioning. I'll just be erasing this one. Okay? So, mag-DLI ulit ako dito. And enter to repeat the said command. And I'll just be picking here up here. Okay, there you go. And I can just simply stretch things. Okay. Stretch ko din to ng konti. DLI ulit. 1 and 2. And the other side. DLI 1, 2. And there you go. And 1 and 2. Okay. So that's another DLI. 1 and 2. DCO. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Enter. DLI to repeat. 1, 2, and click. Okay? So, lagyan nyo na lang po yun sa kabila. So, that's it. I'm going to quick save. So, ulitin ko. Ayan po yung mga ginawa natin earlier. Okay? Now, pwede nyo balikan yung D. Enter. And then, hanapin natin yung sinet. Archive floor plan. Modify. Okay? Pwede nyo palitan yung color dito. Say gusto niyo it's yellow. I-okay ko lang. And close. So, instantly, nag-a-apply siya. Okay? So, let D. Enter. Modify. If you want to change the symbols and arrows, I personally use box filled. Okay? And close. Ayan naman siya. Okay? Kaya lang gastador ng ink yung mga ganyan eh. D. Enter. Maybe you can use, if you're trying to be, to use less ink, dot. Okay, and, okay, no, not this one. Yung blank. You see, for dot blank, ayan. Okay, close. Ayan. You can also use this one. Okay, so ito matipid sa ink to. So, ulitin natin, D-enter, modify. Let's try doon sa, eto, sa fix. Try natin lagyan ng M. Okay. Close. Yan. Meron siyang unit of measurement if you want that. So, fix yan kasi it's at the end of the measurement. Okay? So, there you go. This is our output. You can just simply mirror things or baka merong, yung kasi sa akin symmetrical siya. Maybe you can just mirror it if it's also symmetrical. This is 1 and 2 upon mirror command. Enter. Or kung iba siya, of course, you have to do the other dimensioning. Okay? So, you're going to submit it to me this way. And ilalagay nyo po siya. Alam ko short band. And I know I already have discussed that kung anong gagamitin yung scale. Okay? So, thank you.